The US Supreme Court has overturned the Roe v. Wade ruling, declaring that the US Constitution does not guarantee the right to abortion. In the next few minutes, we will answer how this ruling affects corporate America, and will US companies choose a side? Well, a few big tech companies have come out in support for their female employees. They have released statements reaffirming their commitment to helping employees access healthcare services they may not be able to obtain in their states where abortion is banned. In a statement, they have asserted on how employees can apply for relocation without justification, and the firms will do everything to support employees and their dependents. The Supreme Court's Friday decision to overturn the 1973 Roe v. Wade ruling has triggered a raft of statements and internal memos to employees by several companies. To name some, Disney, Paramount, Netflix, Meta, Sony, and BuzzFeed have all asserted their commitment in helping their employees. Google's Chief People's Officer, Fiona Kitchoni, has sent a staff-wide email to employees informing them of Google's response to the ruling. It says that Googlers can apply for relocation without justification and that people in charge of the relocation process will be aware of the situation. According to reports, Google has told its employees that out of 10,000 requests, it has approved 85%. Now, apart from Google, Microsoft has also said it will do everything under law to support its employees and their dependents in accessing healthcare, regardless of where they live in the United States. Microsoft has further said that it will pay travel expense assistance for lawful medical services. Several CEOs also came out in support for their female employees in the wake of the Supreme Court's decision. Salesforce CEO Marc Benioff took to Twitter asserting on how CEOs have a responsibility to take care of their employees. While Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates also echoed a similar concern and said that reversing Roe v. Wade was an unjust and unacceptable setback, it further puts women's lives at risk, especially the most disadvantaged ones. Now, following the Supreme Court's decision on Friday, abortion rights will now be determined individually by 50 states, with at least half of them expected to ban abortion in the coming few days. Now, for more on this, we are being joined by Sian Jones, who is a women's rights activist and lecturer in gender ABD International Human Rights from London. Thank you for being with us on this broadcast. Now, in the wake of the US Supreme Court's decision to overturn the Roe v. Wade ruling, several tech companies have asserted their commitment to helping their employees to relocate to states with abortion rights. What are the other things that corporate America can do to help protect women's reproductive rights?
Thank you, and thank you for inviting me onto the show this morning. That's a very good question. I think it's really important for us to begin with just understanding how much of a disastrous blow that this court ruling has had and is going to be on women's rights more generally, and particularly women's human rights. As you may or may not know, under international human rights law, there are specific rights that all of us are entitled to. For example, the right to life, the right to health, the right to be free from inhumane and degrading treatment. And this ruling has really rolled back on all of these rights and is absolutely in contravention of international human rights law. So to hear that there are a number of companies that are trying to support women is very positive news. But I think there is very much more that these companies and corporate America can do. I've heard just this morning that a number of clinics within states have begun to close, which means that millions of women are going to be without reproductive health services. Within the next coming days, up to 26 states will completely ban abortion. So all of those women will now need to find other services elsewhere. So for corporate America, alongside sort of supporting their employees, they should really begin to look at, one, ensuring that they're speaking out in a very persuasive manner as to the regression of women's human rights and how they are taking a stand against it, but also speaking to politicians and urging these politicians to uphold women's rights. I think that's very, very important for them to actually show that they are committed to supporting their employees in that way. And another thing that I think that corporate America could be doing is supporting clinics and services that are providing reproductive health services for women. Organisations such as Planned Parenthood, who over the years have received less and less funding. Corporate America could be supporting those organisations so that women are able to access that support, perhaps not in certain states, but in others. So I think there's a lot that corporate America could be doing, and they just need to step up to the plate.
Right, absolutely. And Sian, we have seen some companies have said that they will, for an example, cover travel expenses for their employees who seek abortion. Do you think that this will be a way forward for companies and become a part of their policy after this court ruling?
Absolutely. And again, this is another very positive move. And I think that it's not only needed, but it's the right move to make. If we're looking at these companies, all of these companies have female employees, and they need to show that they are working with these women and ensuring that these women are able to access their human rights, essentially. So it's a very positive move. Will it stay in place, and are there perhaps other moves that the companies need to make to ensure that women have their rights? I think so. And I think we have to also understand that this ruling will also have an impact on the lives of many other people. And it's been discussed before. It was discussed when it was first leaked that there might be a reversion of Roe versus Wade. It was discussed that this could have an impact on a number of other rights that are connected to the right to privacy. So I think companies need to start to think, how is this going to impact the rest of our employees? Is there going to be a regression of rights for couples, same-sex couples? How are we going to respond to that? I think companies need to start thinking ahead. And as I said before, they need to start having conversations with politicians within their states to show that they are committed to upholding the rights of women and also the rest of their employees.
Absolutely. Sian, thank you very much for bringing us all the latest and your valuable opinion.
Thank you very much.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.